Hi, this is Paul Palmer. Today I want to talk to you about supply routes and the disruption that we've encountered and considerations that we need to be thinking about in the way that we change. Now, there are discussions about changing the way that sourcing is carried out, changing the suppliers, changing the manufacturer. Maybe you can move everything from one place to another, but the supply chains are established. You've got factories all over the world, and it's very hard to be competitive when you've already got something established. If you want to move all your API manufacture, say you've got it purchased from China at the moment and you want to bring it to the USA, how are you going to compete? Is people really going to buy? Are you going to find that it actually drive it backwards because the price competition means, well, you can't do it as good because you can't beat the prices. You can't achieve the right cost structure. Now, I've been involved for quite some time in the supply chain from India, but when we're looking at the risk assessments, when you're looking at sourcing, when you're looking at what could go wrong, and you're carrying out your risk assessment, we didn't really think about the whole country getting locked down. We didn't really think about the disruption of the supply route from China to India, not because the transport system broke down, but because the country was in isolation and we couldn't get the APIs that we wanted. We didn't really think about not being able to get the product out of India because there just wasn't a supply route. So the delays that happened during the pandemic have increased the complexity of the supply chain and have made it more important now than it ever was to consider the risks, the risk of not being able to get the product to where you want it to, the risk of the changing profile of demand, the risk of increasing problems within your own country and actually restrictions in the source country where you buy the product from that maybe they don't want to export because they've got just as much of a problem as you have. So what's the solution? I don't think any of us have a simple solution. I think the world needs to work together. But personally, is that really going to happen? I can see disturbances between states already. I can see India wanting to come and work together with us. I can see China approaching. How can we sell more into your country? But then I can see people around me, not just in the UK, in Europe, even across the water in America, thinking, well, we need to be self-sufficient. Why are we relying so much on the other countries when something can go wrong? But are we really in a position where we can actually develop the supply routes, manufacture the products back in our own countries? Or do we need to help the countries that we're buying from? Do we need to help India? Do we need to help China? Ensure that they have the same considerations, the same risk management, the same mitigation, the same business continuity plans that we have? Well, maybe they do already. Maybe Korea has some already. But we don't really know. So I think the focus now, as we go forward, isn't going to be just change. It's going to be assurance, making sure that you've assured your supply chain. Make sure you've carried out your audits. Make sure you've got the facts and the details that you need. Make sure you've got your agreements. Make sure your supply routes will actually continue to supply. Because if anything, one thing that this pandemic has shown us is that you can't predict the future, but you have to be as ready as you can to cope with it. That's it for today. Thanks. It's Paul Palmer.